Pat, I really want to thank you for being here today. I want to start by looking back at kind of the last 18 months and ultimately some of the changes that have happened within the value proposition of a CRM platform.
Yeah.
Going from an end-to-end solution across UI, workflow, system of record into something that's a little bit more unpacked. How do you see organizations, preparing for this, and what does it mean for Salesforce?
It certainly has been an unbelievable 18 months, very, very dynamic. I think in short, to answer your question, the monolith is dead. Long live the mesh. So what we see with a lot of the customers with whom we partner is this desire for their AI agents to work where work actually happens. Based on our experience, you don't really see CIOs or customers kind of blowing away their entire architecture. Instead, what they're doing is they're putting an agentic layer on top of an existing stack. And the interesting thing with that is the true value there is not really at the system of record, it's at the system of action. The CIOs, the customers who will win over the next decade are those who are really transforming for agent readiness today. Clean data, federated identity, kind of agent orchestration layer that I mentioned across the entire ecosystem, not just kind of the four walls of one particular vendor.
I think that's very wise, and ultimately, when we start to think about CIOs or again technology leaders that are making decisions, like how do you see them either doubling down on specific vendors or leaving themselves open for more flexibility in their architecture?
I think a simple heuristic that I use there is, and you use the word double down maybe where differentiation lives and remain flexible where commodity resides. So let's say, customer experience, if that's your competitive differentiator, for which in most industries, that is in fact the case, that's absolutely where you need to go and, double or triple down in kind of deep platform bets. So deep data, deep integration, deep kind of agentic intelligence that is specific or tailored to your industry. What we see on the infrastructure side, AI infrastructure, orchestration infrastructure, integration middleware, kind of simple AI models that summarize or that classify information. That's where you want to keep your options open. That is a commodity business, and then the prices will continue to fall there.
Well, and to extend on that point, I think we're seeing a point where there's a lot of emphasis and focus on moving fast on the AI agenda, but a lot of leaders in the industry are worried about regulation, rising costs, vendor lock-in. What are you seeing successful ones do to be able to drive to value quickly, but also take into consideration some of these very real challenges?
Yeah. So the tension there is definitely real. It might be a false dilemma. So let's see if I get this right. Speed without governance, that's basically technical debt with better marketing. And then governance without speed, if that happens, then you're in an environment where your competitors going in and already talking to your individual customers. They're taking your customers for you. So you got to go in, you got to find kind of a happy medium there. On kind of the costing side of things, what we've seen in this agentic world is that kind of the cost is not necessarily, the cost concerns or cost uncertainty is not necessarily with licenses, AI licenses or other software licenses. It's token sprawl. So, you go in and it's a poorly structured prompt. You're going in, you're retrieving a bunch of data, duplicate agents as well. That little machine, that adds up over time. And really, what we've seen with most CIOs is that they want visibility into that proactively rather than retroactively when the cloud bill arrives. On the vendor lock-in thing, I think some vendor lock-in is rational, and what we've seen with a lot of CIOs, a lot of customers as well, is that those that are successful aren't reluctant to commit, but they commit intentionally. They know what they're buying, they know how much it costs, they know how to get out of it as well. And we really think that those are the types of CIOs, those are the companies that'll be most successful over the next decade.
Well, Pat, I really appreciate your time and insight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.